Hello everybody and welcome to another one player in which I take you through some solo gameplay of various one player games and we decide what we think and what works and what does not. Don't forget to like, comment or subscribe if you have any questions or you'd like to see more videos. Give me some ideas of what games you'd like to see played in an upcoming video and I will do my best to get it on the table. Today we are playing Forbidden Desert, a bit of a classic. Probably 9 out of 10 people are going to be familiar with this and probably have played it at least once, but I've never played it solo. I've only played it with the prerequisite 2 to 5 players. So we're going to be doing double the thinking, but hopefully we've got enough experience. I've played it quite a few times, so hopefully we've got enough experience to see us through. I'm going to make things a little bit trickier and not choose my characters, because usually there's a big fight in our house for who gets to be the water carrier. We've got a climber and a navigator. Those are two folks that I don't actually play with very much, so let's see how this goes. We've got a climber and a navigator. For those of you who don't know or haven't played this game, essentially what we're doing is we're trying to navigate through this desert landscape. We've crashed our helicopter here and we're looking to construct some rather bizarre looking whirligig machine over that way by finding these various parts throughout the desert. Now they're hidden on the back side of these tiles. The downside to that is that as we explore and flip these tiles, the board will change shape and also will get covered in these sand tokens which will stack up and block our path. Now the climber, one of his special abilities is to be able to move to said blocked tiles, so that's kind of nice. And the navigator gives us the ability to move other players up to 3 unblocked tiles per action. So that's kind of an interesting combo. Now I don't know if I would probably say the climber's rule overrides the unblocked and navigator, but let's see how we get on and see if we need to finagle that rule. Oh, I should say this brilliant print. I found this on Thingiverse, printed it out and painted it in a bit of a rush, but look at this. It's an actual storm tile for the storm. Oh, wonderful. Sand and cactuses and little cow heads, and that's just going to sit right there. I think that's great. I'll put that in a link in the description. Shall we get going? Gosh, what do we do first? We take some actions. Each turn we're going to take 4 actions, and we can either move, we can flip, we can remove the sand in various locations, and we can claim a prize or claim a part or whatever you want to call it. So if I start with my navigator, why don't we clear this? That's one action. Then I can flip in my adjacent tiles. I'll flip that one and I will flip that one. Oh, that's nice. Now that lets us know that the crystal powered engine block that goes into this flying bajing thing is going to be on this row, so we can then find out which column it's going to be in and go and claim it. We also flipped this equipment card. This is a tunnel, so actually this tunnel allows us to move between this tunnel and another tunnel, and also keeps us safe if we draw the dreaded sun beats down card, which is basically dehydrates us, moves our water level down. As you can see, when you get to below 0 water, you in fact die. So I'm going to draw a piece of equipment for our navigator. He's got a telescope, which allows him to peer under any unexcavated tile. How many actions have I had? I've had 1 to clear, 2, 3. I've got 1 more. Well, why don't we clear that sand as well? That's the end of our turn, and so at the end of our turn we are going to draw the required number of threat cards from the deck here. The required number currently, I'm starting on normal, giving myself a chance. I don't want to. I've lost a couple of games on this video series already. I don't want to lose another one. So we've got to draw 3 per turn, and we do that face up like this, and then 1 at a time, and I'll show you why that matters. So essentially we're moving the storm around, and if I drew them in a different order, we might end up either placing more or less sand tiles on the tiles that we've moved. So this storm is going to go up 2, which means, or I should say it's going to go down 2 because we're moving 2 tiles up. And that means we place sand cards on both of those. We'll make a discard pile up there. We flip this one. It needs to go up 1, which is great because it can't, so we actually get a bit of a respite from the storm in that regard. And then this one we're going to go back down to, which is not a respite, so we're going to do that and that, place the storm right back in the middle, and then we're going to pull 2 more sand cards, and place them on the top. So this card is well and truly, this tile is well and truly blocked. This one a little bit blocked too, but I think we should be able to figure it out with our climber, whose turn starts right now. So we're going to do, let's see, 1. Maybe we'll do this. 2, 3. We can take those off. And then why don't we check to see if it's anything good. It's not bad, it's an equipment card. You and any other pawns on your tile may ignore the effects of Sun Beats Down until the start of your next turn. I can play this at any time. So if we do draw a Sun Beats Down card, then we should be okay. Let's stick together then, I think, maybe is a decent idea for these 2 folks. Alright, end of the turn, let's draw those 3 cards. We've got 1 down. Got 2 to the right, like that. So that's going to be blocked. That's water, which is a crucial resource, of course, in this game. And then we've got 3 to the right, which again doesn't matter because it's right as far right as it can go, or as far left as it can go, so no more cards can go right. That makes sense. It's always a bit of a working out, or getting an acclimatization period to work out which way the tiles go. And once you get it, and it's usually stuck for the game, but I find that every time I start a game, I just get confused. All right, so let's see. We've got our navigator. We could move him in a similar direction to our climber, just to keep them close, which I don't think is a bad idea. Why don't we do this 1, and we'll flip this. That's 2. We get another equipment. All players on your tile receive 2 water, and we'll keep that water reserved to ourselves. And then that was 1, 2. Let's flip this one because oh, right, yeah, we found ourselves a part clue. That's 3. And then why don't I move our climber so that when he starts his next turn, he doesn't have to waste any movement points or action points on movement, because we can move any other player up to 3 unblocked tiles per action. So I think that's a pretty decent thing to do. So which way should we go? Maybe let's go up here and start clearing off this water, because it is going to be a resource that we need. Even if we don't need it now, it will be something that we need in the future. So 1, 2, and let's just stick him there. 3 threat cards, or sandstorm cards. I'm giving them the wrong name. Like I said, you always want to make sure that you're drawing these so that you've got the north needle up and the Gamewright at the bottom. Alright, so we've got 1 up here. That's got covered by the storm. We've got 1 to the left here, and that's got sand on it now. And oh, the storm picks up. This is going to increase our number of storm tiles gradually that we need to play, that we need to pick up every turn. So next turn we are going to still pull 3, but we're getting closer up to these harder numbers. And you can imagine once that storm starts moving around a lot of sand starts coming down. Okay, so well, we've got our climber. We know what's under the water tile, but I might still want to excavate it anyway. Or we don't know, actually. Technically there's 2 waters and there's 1 mirage, so it could be a hoax, which would be annoying if it was the hoax and I'd spent all the time cleaning it. Why don't we do this? 1, 2, and we'll flip that. Oh, we found ourselves a wheel part somewhere. And then I'll do 3, 4 on this adjacent tile, and that means at least for now we've got the option of going there. That was 4. Let's pull these cards again. Oh, we've been swiped around by the storm there. We have been well and truly... Oops, wrong ones. 1, 2 down, and that's been blocked, and our valiant efforts to unblock the water hole has been undone. And then 1 to the right. So you can see obviously the progression of the board already is such that we're getting kind of dumped on in various areas, and the storm is liable to kind of move everywhere, or as all over the board. So nowhere's really safe per se. Back to our navigator's turn. Let's see. Do you think that we might want to peek under that water and see if it's worth keeping? That might be not a bad idea, to be honest. We could play this terrascope and see if that water is actually a water or not, and that would confirm whether, if it wasn't, we'd know that these two were. I mean, that's a decent idea. I suppose I'll play it and just see what happens. So I can peer under this, and we know that it is, in fact, the Mirage token. We would have got to the bottom of a dry lake bed. So, screw that tile, and as long as I can remember which one it is, then we don't care if it gets buried. Okay, that doesn't count as an action, luckily. Does not count as an action. Discard to the box after use. I will do that, or at least close by. So, let's see. Now we've got our action tokens to actions to spend. Let's come over here. We're going to do 1, 2, and we're going to do 3, and we're going to do 4. And that's given us an equipment and a clue to the location of the engine. I mean, okay, so let me straight talk with you here. I'm not a big steampunk fan. I'm not a huge, like, windmill powered gasoline engine crystal fuel jet flying thing proponent. I mean, the theme works, and I think it's cool. Having 3D printed the storm, I was then kind of thinking, like, well, I could probably just 3D print something that looks cooler to me than this. I mean, it does look like we were flying a regular, pretty normal Huey helicopter in. So I don't know why we can't just fly a regular Huey helicopter out. Although I suppose they're harder to make than some sort of ancient flying wizardry machine. Anyway, rant over, or not really a rant, just a aimless monologue. So we've got our equipment. We know where the engine is possibly about to be. Let's draw our storm cards. We've got 1 to the right, 3 to the left. Ouch, that's always bad when it moves backwards and forwards, because then you've got to put... So that one's got 2 on it now, hasn't it? Because I forgot to put 1 on. And then, oops, and then that one's got 2 on it now, and that one's got 1 on it now. The whole... And then 2 up. So the storm moves back down into the middle, and we are going to bury that card up there. This top half of the board is not looking so good. And maybe that's okay, because most of the... Well, I say that. We still need to... So, basically what we're doing is we're finding... All of these cards so far have told us which row these parts are going to be on, but we haven't found... Oh, we found one that tells us which column it's going to be on, but unfortunately it doesn't align. If we're unlucky, the column cards are going to be these ones here that we're currently kind of allowing to get buried. And maybe that's not a good idea. So maybe we'll send our climber up there. Maybe we'll send our climber up there to do a bit of digging. What about if I did... Let's just look at one. We'll just do this. We'll do 1, and then we'll do... Let's just do this one. 2, 3, 4. And we found ourselves on equipment. Not that great. But we do have a dune blaster, which allows them to remove all the sand from adjacent tiles. So that's pretty useful if we do get one that's like absolutely buried. Like this one's got 3 on it already, etc. So 3 cards. Drum roll. We haven't had a storm increase in a while. We don't have a sun card in a while, so I'm getting a bit nervous that those are all going to be clumped in one place and they're going to catch us off guard. Another one down. There we go. There's our sun beats down card. Now do we... Excuse me. Do we play our solar shield and save our water for... or save 1 water for our climber, or do we wait until that's more imperative? Let's play it. Let's keep him on his full water. He's only got... he only has 3, so... Now the navigator goes down to 3 because he's got thirsty. But at least our climber's still on full water supply. And we know where the 2 waters are, thankfully, this guy and this one. So that's actually pretty helpful. We just need to make sure that we can coordinate to get both of our characters down there at the same time. Okay, so we've got the navigator's turn up next. Where should we go? I suppose we could go and deal with this, but then we wouldn't still be able to flip the card. I could, again, move the climber somewhere better, but he's actually on a card which is pretty decent. So I suppose I could either move up here and check this one, or move down here and check this one. Both of which I'm not super excited by. I suppose if I do this, 1, 2, it's another equipment card. Bloody hell. Take 2 more actions during a turn. Well, that's actually, maybe I'll play that right now. So I'm going to do 2, then 3, 4 to get off these 2 sand tokens, but then I've got 2 more, so I'm going to do that one and this one, and hopefully... it's a crystal, that's good. So now we know that the crystal is on this column and on this row, so it is on this card, and that means that next turn we can get to this card and claim the crystal with one of our actions. So we shall indeed be doing that. Now it's time to draw some storm cards. Still drawing 3. Oof, okay. That's what I thought. Maybe they're in a big pile in the middle of the deck. So that's not going to be good. Okay, that's good because we get a little respite. We can't move any tiles down into the storm. And... okay. And the storm picks up. So we are up to the one before we have to start drawing new cards. So let's be aware of that. I don't think it's quite dire enough for us to hurry to the water just yet. I think we've probably got 1 more turn, and maybe what I can do is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think the next turn with my navigator I'll come here and then get to the water, and then my next turn with my climber I'll get to the water as well. But for now I want to start excavating some of this. So I think this is less likely to be covered by sand than this because it's slightly further away than this from the storm. Hear me out here. So if the storm kind of comes around here, this will get covered and all our work will be for naught, potentially. Whereas if we do 1, 2, another equipment card, and then 3, 4, and that adjacent, then at least it's going to be clear probably for next turn. Maybe we've got a Dune Blaster. We've got 2 Dune Blasters now. So maybe I should... oh, this one's got 3. I'd prefer to use it on that one than this one. All right, let's just wait. Okay. Now then. 1 up. Oh yeah, that's going to be the Dune Blaster card right there. That is a mountain of sand. And to the left, which is just 1, so that's okay. And 1 more to the left, which is a respite, which is great. So, to our navigator, we said we're going to claim our first prize. So we're going to do 1. 2 is the action to claim the prize, and I can place it in this ship wheel. And then was 2, 3, 4 onto the water, and let's just hold there. Let's just play it a bit safe. We'll fill up with our water and meet our friend the climber, and I think that's the best thing to do. Yes, I think I've got a good idea of what to do next turn. Okay, storm picks up. Alright, so we are on 4 next turn around. We're going to be drawing 4 cards. 2, we've got one going right. And so that's going to be blocked. And 3 up, that is pretty bad. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and we're going to block all of those. And so, or I should say these aren't blocked, these are just covered. And so the difference between blocked and covered, so you saw that my navigator was able to move to this water, even though it was covered in sand. However, he would not be able to move to this tile, or this tile, or this tile, with more than 2 sand tokens on it. It counts as blocked. Now, our climber is able to do that. I don't know if this axe is going to come in very handy when you're trying to climb sand, but regardless, he can move through the block tiles, and so he's got a bit more maneuverability. So that was our storm turn, and now we are on to the climber. Now I'm going to play a Dune Blaster card to clear all of these, and then I'm going to play 1, 2. Oops, jeez. Now we've got an equipment card again. Jetpack, and we found a column tile for the fan, which means the fan is here on the Mirage, which is funny. So we could my plan was to bring him down here and then just flip the water next turn. I could go and claim that treasure, that fan or propeller fan. Yeah, gotta have AC and then one of these things. So we can claim that propeller, because I could jetpack to this tile for free and then clear it, excavate it. Oh no, I couldn't. I would be still 1 turn short. So let's not bother. So let's do 1, 2. We'll play it safe. We've got him sitting on the water, and then look, we're down to the last few cards of our deck, or the last cards of our deck. We're going to have to shuffle this and make a new one. So, I can't remember how many Storm picks up cards there are per deck. Probably a good thing to know. Alright, so the Storm is going to move this way. We're getting a bit close to that. Not a fan of that at all. We are going to move back again. Alright, fair enough. I don't like it when that happens, because then we're just going to get absolutely smothered with sand. We've got a Sun Beats Down card. Ouch. Okay. Alright, actually that's fine, because we're on the water, so I don't really care. We're down to 1 on the climber and 1 on the navigator, but I don't mind because we've got water next turn, so who cares? And then, another one. Wow. Okay, so that was pretty lucky that we made that our strategy, or not luck, sorry. I meant skillful. So that means that we're on basically 0 water for each person. We need water next turn, thankfully. We can take it. And we are going to do so with our, navigator, so the yellow fella here. We're going to unbury for 1, flip for 2, fill our canteens to the brim. And then, well, I suppose, we could move the climber. Oh yes, we'll move the climber for 1 action to the propeller spot. That's what we'll do. We'll play, that was 3 actions, right? And then 4, I don't know. I really like the Explorer, because the Explorer gets to move diagonally. It feels like such a waste to move like 1 across just for no reason, but to be honest, we really have to. I mean, these cards are definitely going to be the column. I mean, there's no other way. There's no other place they could be. So we have to check them out. So let's do this 4. I'll do this one, and then I'll come up to this one. Probably next few turns. Alright, now we've got to shuffle our storm deck. We have shuffled our storm deck, and we are going to bring 4 cards from the top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still got them all in the wrong direction. Alright, let's see. I know that you're drum rolling in your head, so I won't have to make the noise. 2 to the left, which is not so bad. I can live with that. We don't need to know about the crystal anymore. 1 up, which is great because we cannot move 1 up. 1 to the left, which is even better because we can't move 1 to the left. And the storm picks up, which is fine because, well, you've got to, haven't you? Oh, I should have counted how many storm picks up there were. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We won't get to 5 by the end of this deck, so I don't know if that knowledge helps us or not, but, you know, there you go. So, climber. We are going to climb down. We're going to dig with our climber. We're going to do 1, 2, back to the mirage. 3, claim the propeller because we know that that's where that lives. Oh, we've lost our engine. I mean, okay. Oh wait, on the back, yeah, okay. There we are. I always want to put it on the front, but I suppose the back makes... Well, I was going to say it makes sense. I don't think anything about this vehicle particularly makes sense. Alright, that was 3 actions, and then we've really got to get our climber up here, haven't we? I could jetpack, which feels like a bit of a waste, but also maybe isn't, because I could get up here and then dune blast it next turn. I'm gonna do it. Jetpack over there, and that's still only use 3 actions. So then I guess I'll do this 1 more, and then I can dune blast this card, which is full of sand, and then flip these 2 over next turn. Okay, 4 more. Getting into a rhythm now. Kind of sense we're actually doing pretty well. 2 articles of plain building equipment isn't too bad, given that we're only on 4 storm cards per turn, so I'm feeling pretty confident about this turn at the moment. Let's see what we get. 1 to the left. Oh, we're getting very lucky, which is also great. 1 to the right. Don't mind about that. We're getting really lucky with the storm cards. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and you just end up burying yourself. I feel like we've got pretty good luck so far. That's back. So moving this one, just storm can't make up its mind. That is well and truly buried. Oh, that is not what I wanted to see, because that means that this card, 1, 2, 3, is now unobtainable for our climber, which is a pain. And it's one of the only ones we really need to turn over, so that kind of sucks. But never matter. On to our navigator. Our navigator, he's only got one thing on his mind: clearing this tile. 1, 2. Oh, we found the launch pad, a very important tile. This is where we actually drag or maneuver our vehicle to and fly away from. So that's where we need to escape from, like the helipad in Forbidden Island. So at least we know we need to keep this pretty clear. That was 2. Now what have I got to do? I mean, I don't even need to move him because he's in a good position. So should I go up to the top here? 3, 4? I mean, kind of seems a bit dull, but that's fine. We're all on full water. We're all doing pretty well. Let's take 4 cards and just see what happens. Storm picks up. All right, that's another one. 1 to the right, which is actually okay, because if this wasn't the climber, he would be mostly screwed because he couldn't move past these 2 tiles and just be stuck in the corner like a useless fool. But as it is, he is able to... Oh, did I put one on there? I can't remember. I don't think I did. Maybe I did, or maybe I didn't, but I'll just put one on there anyway. So, and then 3 to... that was pretty bad. So now we've got blink, blink, storm back there, and then 2 more. Oops, that should be a clear sand, and this should be a buried sand, and this is a buried sand for sure, because we've got 5 sand tokens on that now. Let's just hope that one of the pieces doesn't end up being there. Now it's our climber's turn. We are going to spend 1 to flip this. We found the engine. The engine is here. That's a pain in the arse, but okay. So the engine's here. That's, well, it's fine. I don't think as the climber, I can't move through the storm. I still can't move through the storm, so I've still got to make... I wouldn't, if I could, I could just go down there and claim it, but I'm not going to, because I cannot. I will, I think... I have a feeling that I'm using up these too quickly, but you know what? I don't... Whatever, we'll use this Dune Blaster, so we're going to clear all this without taking any turns to do it. And so I've spent 1, I'm going to spend 2, I get another equipment. Peek under any unexcavated tile. It's a terrascope. Bloody steampunk goggles. I mean, alright, fine. So that was 2 actions only. What are we looking for? We're looking for the wheel. We know where the engine is. We're looking for the sundial. The sundial's got to be under one of these 3. So I suppose I could peek and see which one maybe my navigator needs to go to. Ooh, it's not that one. Right. And then I can move my climber still, because I've still only spent 2, even though I've done a lot. So I can do 1, 2, to makes 4, and then I'm prepared to move down this direction and let my navigator deal with, hopefully this is the other sundial card. Alright. You follow me? You follow me. Oops. I'm following me, I think. Okay. That's not too bad. 2, 3. At least it puts us in contact with this square again, which is nice. Oops, we do 1, 2, and 3 there. And we'll do 2 this way, which is fine. 2 back the other way. He just likes moving backwards and forwards on this bottom row, which is, you know what? It's not really doing all that much to me, so that's okay. And then 2 up, which is a respite, because it cannot move 2 up. That's a pretty decent storm. That's a very convenient storm, to be honest, as storms go. So now we know that this isn't the one we should go for, so we can leave that alone. We also know that this one might still be, so we're going to do 1, 2 with our navigator, and it is indeed the sundial, and luckily it puts the sundial exact... You couldn't see this. You had to go here to check that it was there. Yeah. So that puts the sundial right there. I should probably move the engine, shouldn't I? Can I do that? Can I put it on this? I forget if I put it on this one or if I just... Does it move around with the storm? Rule check. Rule check complete. So we do put it down the tile, which means that I don't think it would have given us any advantage per se, because I don't think any of the storms did any movement to any of the ones we've already got thus far. But it's good to know, because now we're aiming for this tile and not specifically this space on the board. The more you know. Back to it. I forgot how many turns we'd taken, but I think it was only 1, 2. So this means 3. We've got a sundial, that's always necessary to navigate and tell the time. And then we've got 4. Our 4th action, to be honest, is probably a pretty good tactic. Well, I suppose I could send... Oh no, I don't need to move him here, do I? You just need to move him here. So yes, I absolutely should do that. 1, 2, 3. Now you're on the engine tile and you're good. Yeah. now we're pretty much just looking to try to get over here. Luckily, the climber can get anywhere he wants. The navigator, he's got a jetpack, so he's pretty psyched on that. And we've all got full water. I think this game's going great. Maybe I should have played it on. I mean, I'd never call myself elite at any board game, but I guess we could have tried that level. Anyway, storm goes down. That means our engine with our new rule and our climber goes down. And the sun beats down, which is interesting because we haven't come up against one of those cards in this deck yet, so I imagine we probably will pretty soon. And one more down. And another sun beats down. Okay, alright, so it's not all plain sailing. Our climber has only got 1 water, and our navigator has 2. Now, here's what I'm thinking. The navigator does have a jetpack. He also has a secret water reserve, which you can share water with another person. So I think on the navigator's next turn, we just go and find this fella, wherever he is. We go to him, give him water, and then the climber, even if we have to make it out through this giant sand mountain, the Rockies of sand dunes down here to get to our launch pad, the climber can actually take a player with him when he moves. So that's pretty slick. Just carries him on his back, I think, which is adorable, to be honest. Climber's turn. We're going to do 1, find the engine. We've got the engine. That's 1. Oh, no, wait. We can't get the engine until it is excavated. Trick. So, 1, 2, 3. Actually cost me a few more points than I would have liked, but we do get an equipment, which is solar shield. That might come in handy. And then I suppose we can go up close to this water, and then, you know what, maybe we don't even need this secret water reserve after all. I just hope that, well, if we got another sun beats down card, we've got a solar shield, so we can save the climber because he's only on 2 or only on 1 water. All right, stop blabbering on. Let's play the game. Stop strategizing. Sun beats down. Okay, I am going to play that solar shield because I don't want... Oh! He's in a tunnel! He's in a tunnel, I don't even need to! He's in a tunnel. So the navigator gets 1. He's down to 1 water. But this guy's... I didn't even think that wasn't even... That was just a bit of luck, to be honest. Another one. Okay, now I definitely will. Because the navigator is on 0. Here's a question. Rulebook, an out loud question for the benefit of the viewers. Can I use my jetpack in the middle of my storm turn? It says play at any time. I know it says in the book you can't play it after you've taken a card, but technically I don't know what this is, but it could be a sun beats down, and to be honest, if it is, I don't want it to be, so I could play my jetpack now. Rule check! Rule clarity obtained. You can play them at any time. As a general rule, they cannot reverse the effects of storm cards once they've been drawn. So we're not doing that. We're actually, by playing the jetpack now, I've already lost all the water. Now I'm just saying I don't want to die. So I'm going to move him here. He's in the tunnel. So even if this card is a sun beats down, which it is not, and we are going to move with the storm. If it was, I would be safe. And... oh, I didn't even need to play that solar shield because I was in the tunnel. That's silly. Anyway, so now we're both in the tunnel, and I can play that card because I'm not reversing any other effects. Respite from the storm. That's what we like to hear. Now, all players on your tile receive 1 water. If we're on the same tile, I can pass equipment for free. So I'm going to pass equipment for free to the climber. The climber is going to use said equipment, which means that we both get 2 water. I'm back up to full, and this fella is back up to halfway, so that's pretty good. Then it's a race for the finish, isn't it, really? So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the victory. We've got all the parts in our desert ship. We've got the propeller and the engine and the crystal and the sundial. We know the time and we can power ourselves out of here. The storm's long gone down in this southeasterly corner down here. It doesn't even care about us anymore. And we really didn't come up against too much tension in that game. Normally, or I suppose maybe I would say on the higher levels, or when maybe you're not acting quite as synchronously as one person is. What I'm trying to say is there's more than one mind trying to fight over what the best strategy is. I suppose it can get tricky. I felt that one went really quite smoothly. Maybe we just got lucky with the storm tiles that we drew. Or maybe I did something wrong and you can point it out and let me know that I definitely shouldn't have won this game quite so smoothly, suspiciously smoothly. As I said, I wouldn't consider myself elite at this game by any means, but there you go. We have beaten the game. We've got out of the desert. We've escaped, forbidden or not. We have got out in one piece. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this, what your experiences have been playing this game solo. This is the first time I've ever played it by myself. I can't compare it to other games. Only multiplayer games that we've played together. So let me know. Let me know what you think, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. All right, thanks so much for watching.